You're not Peter Parker.
I am so confused right now.
Hello, this is Ken. I like making things. I like making things out of paper, and I like making things cooler. Especially my figures. Sometimes figures don't look all that screen accurate. All they need is a bit of touch-up here and there to unleash their hidden potential. I also love using everyday tools and materials to recreate iconic scenes from my figures, so they can shine on my display. Subscribe to my channel and join my DIY adventure as I ask myself the same question every week. Can I make it? Last week, I worked on Venom from Spider-Man 3. That figure desperately needed a makeover, and I'm pretty happy with the final result, especially the face. Check it out if you're interested. Today, I'm going to work on Ned and Peter. Normally, I don't go for figures in regular casual outfits, especially characters in suits. Luckily, these two outfits don't look that bad. But the main reason why I got this 2-pack is because it comes with 2 Peter Parker heads. This is also the first MCU Ned figure. I really enjoy Ned's dynamic with Peter and MJ. Let's deconstruct this figure. There's an FAQ on the paint and brushes I use in the description box below. I kinda wish they went with a different or more recognizable look for both Peter and Ned. I actually didn't remember Peter in this outfit until I looked it up. If I'm correct, he only wore this for 1 or 2 scenes at the school. It was a different shade of green in the movie, and the pants were khaki, not yellow. The yellow and green is giving Ned Flanders vibe. The discoloration on the knees stick out quite a bit too. Besides the coloring issue, I do like the sculpt, especially the neutral face. But that smiling face, let's not talk about it. As for Ned, he was wearing this outfit with Peter at the school, and he also wore it in Peter's room with the Spiderman mask. I personally prefer his look from No Way Home. It's giving Hobgoblin. Too bad the shirt here is short-sleeved. It just wouldn't look right if I try and paint it into a Letterman jacket. I would have loved it if they released these two as their No Way Home selves, but I can see why they went with Homecoming instead, since there's already an MJ from that period, who's also wearing an outfit I do not recognize, so I gave her a makeover. I won't be able to do any drastic changes to Ned and Peter, but I do want to do some minor touch-ups so they look a bit more natural. So, can I make it? Let's start with Ned. The only thing I dislike are the pants. Those jeans seem too purple to me. They're just regular blue jeans in the movie, so I'm gonna rub a thin coat of this blue over it. Not too thick because I still want those lighter areas to show at the front. And I'm gonna use a lighter blue to go over those areas. Oh, I like this blue. Let me use this as a highlighting color as well, to give the jeans that worn denim look. I'm also going to do a quick wash of blue over the shirt, to get rid of that plastic sheen and to make the white a little less white. Now I'm going to mix myself an even lighter blue to add more highlights to the jeans, especially on the front side. Can't forget the folded area at the bottom. This area should be the lightest. Alright, I'm very happy with how the pants turned out. Onto the beige shirt. The color itself is fine. I just want to see if I can exaggerate the highlights a bit with this warm white color. This will also mattify the texture, making it look a bit more fabric-like. Next, let's add the buttons back in with a dark brown. And a quick wash of this brown on the other side to bring out the molded details. Alright, onto the shoes. It took me a while to find clear reference photos of his shoes, but I found this behind the scene photo, which is great. It shows the design of the shoes clearly. It's mostly brown and black, and the soles are a dark gray. Alright, the body is pretty much done. As we all know, Ned is magic. That is why I want to make him a sling ring. I want to make it out of sturdy material. I'm going to bend and cut a paper clip into a U shape to go around his fingers. As for the main piece, I'm going to use shrink plastic. I thought about using paper, but I want something harder. Alright, the shrink plastic has been shrunk. It's kinda the right size. Now I just have to connect the two pieces. I'm gonna use UV resin. The way the resin coats around the pieces should provide a stronger bond than say super glue. It's just hard to hold the tiny pieces in place while turning on the UV light. Okay, done. It doesn't look like much. It's just a rectangle with a handle. Let me paint it gold. The problem with shrink plastic is that it's hard to paint directly on it. The surface is just too slippery. I'm going to apply one thin coat at a time and letting it fully dry and build up the paint slowly. Okay, here's the sling ring all painted. Let's see how it looks on Ned. Ooh, that worked! Perfect. On to Peter. His sweater is green, but it's a touch darker and muted in the movie. Let me see if this blue will do the trick. Sure. It deepens and desaturates the blue slightly, so that works for me. Let me apply it all over the sweater. The sweater is now darker and matte. Time to work on the pants. Let's see how this beige color looks on the pants. Oh, I like it. This is the exact color I want. It lightens and tones down the yellowness. And best of all, it matches the color on his knees better too. The overall pants appear very flat now. Let's add some shading with the brown. I'm going to use this to emphasize the folds, to give the pants a bit more dimension. Alright, on to the faces. Let's start with Ned. I don't really see any issues with this head. I'm just gonna dust a bit of paint over the skin to mattify it a bit. And go over the brows a bit as well to get rid of that plastic sheen. And lastly, darken his hair slightly. The changes are minor. I think the darker hair matches his look in the movie more. Next, the head with the Spiderman mask. I like the red on this mask. It's just missing the web lines, so let me fill in the web lines with blue paint. This is just my personal preference. I don't like black web lines on movie Spider-Man figures, especially on Tom Holland's Spider-Man. His web lines have always been very subdued. I'm gonna achieve that look by using blue for the web lines, and then going over the entire mask with the red to make them appear even fainter. Here's what the masked head looks like. I should have waited for the blue to dry completely before I did the red. I can see that it smudged the blue slightly, but overall it's not that bad. On to Peter. This is a really good Tom Holland head. They capture his likeness very well, and the paint job is great. I don't really need to do anything to be honest, so I'm just gonna mattify the texture. I personally prefer a more matte look on faces. The only downside in my opinion is how young the face looks. Otherwise, it's an awesome Tom Holland head. This, however, is haunting. It has this uncanny valley look to it. The smile is there, but it does not look genuine at all. And it's actually quite difficult to point out exactly what's wrong with it. They seem to capture all the little details, but it just doesn't look right. I think it's the teeth, even though that's how Tom smiles. It kinda looks like he's losing teeth. So I'm gonna try and make each individual tooth bigger, but I have to do this off camera. The teeth are too tiny. Alright, not sure if that helped, but I need to move on before I mess them up. Let me quickly mattify the rest and compare. Okay, let's see. I think the bigger teeth helped. I also exaggerated the lines on his face a bit too, but I still don't see Tom Holland. Oh well. Let's compare the before and after. Starting with Peter. I like the new colors more. I don't know why, but I just don't see Tom Holland's Peter Parker wearing that shade of green for some reason. The pants look much better. The knees are no longer a different color. I love the close-up shot of this figure. It just looks so natural and real for some reason. It totally looks like Tom Holland. But not this head though. It doesn't look like Tom from afar. He looks a bit better up close, but it's still creeping me out. Stop smiling at me like that. Here's the neutral head on the integrated suit. It looks great, but just a bit on the young side. Which head looks better on the integrated suit? Let me know down below. And here's Ned. The top half is pretty much the same, but those pants look much better in my opinion. They look like actual jeans now. And the shoes, also much better. The buttons on the shirt aren't that obvious, but it's a neat touch. Oh, I like that the sling ring is staying on his hand. I was a bit worried that it would just slide right off. Here's Ned with the Spiderman mask. I like that they captured Ned's face shape. Let me bring in this Spiderman figure from the MJ 2-pack. Oh, the new heads don't really look that great on this figure. Strange, I thought this would work. On its own, this is a fantastic Tom Holland Peter Parker figure. This head is spot on. This is one of the best MCU heads they've done. The overall look works too, but I'm curious, how do you display your figures in normal everyday clothing? Do you gather and display them together? I actually really like the backpacks, but it took too much effort removing them since their arms don't seem to want to pop off, so they're just gonna have to carry them like this from now on. The Ned figure is also pretty good. They captured Jacob's likeness pretty well, but the articulation is very limited. The good thing is, he looks awesome with the sling ring and the portal. This is probably how I'm gonna display him. As for using Tom Holland's head on the integrated suit, something's just off about it. Maybe he looks too young? Or the hairstyle looks a bit outdated? Or maybe it's the expression. I can't put my finger on it. Anyway, I may not be a huge fan of figures in regular clothing, but I'm happy that I have this trio. Their chemistry with each other is spectacular. Okay, photoshoot time. Let's start with Peter. He is so photogenic. He doesn't really need to do much. That head sculpt looks good in every angle. On the other hand, this smiling head is still odd. I think it's because the eyes and the mouth don't match. As in, you can see that it's a smiling face, but both the eyes and the mouth don't convey happiness. It has this wax figure look to it. It's lacking genuine emotion. Excuse the lack of dynamic poses for these two. There just isn't that much I can do individually. But together, it's a different story. They have this buddy-buddy dynamic to them. These poses were surprisingly fun to do. However, Peter and MJ don't look as good as I hoped. Maybe it's because I can tell Peter and MJ are from different time periods, so they don't exactly match as a couple. Boo. That said, Ned looks surprisingly good with the portal. It makes up for the lack of posability, and I can recreate the portal scenes from No Way Home too. I love this photo, it's so funny to me. Alright, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Give this a like and subscribe to my channel to see more content like this. And as always, stay inspired and I'll see you next week. I can make it, so can you.